What's up? Have a unusual crankshaft here. Something you don't see every day. This is a 302 Chevy, 3-inch stroke, forged steel, 302 Chevy. And it's prepped by REATH, California, back in the 70s. This was in a modified production drag car, 302. Got a bunch of fucking holes drilled in it. It's deburred, smoothed out, lightened up. I think them fucking journal surfaces might have been chromed. They would turn them down and hard chrome the journals back to standard. I believe them been chromed. It's balanced. I have a set of aluminum rods, big forged dome pistons, make about 13.5 to 1 compression to go with it. But a lot of people say a 302 crank is just a 283 crank put in a 327 block. They had the same stroke, and they were small journal, 67, 68, 69 they went to large journal. This is a 67, 68 type. But you can identify crankshafts by looking at the flange where the flywheel or flex plate bolts on. And a 283 is totally round with no cutouts and shit. It's just a round flange. And a 302 has this cutout right here. That's how you can tell it's an actual 302 crank and not a 283 crank. So this is a rare piece. It weighs about 44 pounds. Looks like it had some kind of roller pilot bearing in it that's fucking gone. Not a conventional looking pilot bearing. It's pretty fucking light. These are the rods and pistons that go with it. They're pretty fucking heavy duty. Big bastards. It'll turn 8,500, 9,000 RPM. I'm guessing this was a 67, 68, 302 crank to begin with, and it was just prepped. A lot of work into it. But he also, it could be he'd take like a crankshaft blank and then machine them and shit to whatever stroke and journal diameter he wanted to go with. So he'd take like Velasco cranks and give them the works. I don't really know if there's no production numbers on it whatsoever. No stampings from GM. So it could be ground off a aftermarket core. looked it over pretty hard. It does have REATH on it. There's REATH. There's some numbers, 8309 or 8369-2. I can't tell what that was. Looks like a 2800 maybe. REATH, Joe REATH. REATH Automotive. That was a badass speed shop, machine shop. They run top fuel dragsters and funny cars and shit. Joe REATH was a badass engine builder. He was the crew chief and mechanic for Jim Dunn Nitro funny cars. Joe REATH was the engine builder, machinist. He took a shitload of weight out of this thing. The fucking crank's been Swiss cheesed. A lot of weight. There's another number there. 4425. It's been Swiss cheesed. The oil holes are chamfered. I think it's hard chromed on the journal surfaces. That's a lightweight crankshaft. The old REATH Automotive, they were opened up in 1957. They shut down in 2006. Joe REATH had to hang it up. But he's got there's many famous race cars connected to him. He had a shop full of badass mechanics and machinists and shit working with him. He had Henry Velasco cranks worked with him. That's where Velasco cranks originated. They done shit for a lot of top fuel cars and modified production, comp eliminator, fuel altereds, all kinds of shit. Like him and somebody had a Fiat, a 37 Fiat they run back in the 60s, fuel altered. That was a hell of a machine shop slash speed shop that old boy had. It grew. He started out in a small building, ended up moving into a huge building. And it was a fucking candy store for gearheads. If you had some Joe REATH shit, he's doing good. This thing's all deburred and lightened up. It's like material taken off the counterweights and shit. These counterweights are a lot It used to be out to like here. So he took a shitload of weight off this thing. Lightened it up. Aluminum rods. Lightweight pistons. This thing will fucking scream. I'm gonna build a modified production type engine with this shit. I built a 302 years ago. Had a set of bow tie heads, kind of like them right there. And it was about 13.5 to 1 compression. Had a similar crank to this. Aluminum rods, Aries pistons. Had a 685, 690 lift. Solid roller. 280, 288 at 50. On a 106 load separation. I had a ported Gene Fulton modified Holly strip dominator intake and an 830 Holly annular discharge double pumper. And a 2,200 pound drag car. It ran 970s NA, tacking 9,800 RPM. Try to shift it at 95, but by the time your brain tells your hand to shift that shifter, it's done climbed 300 more RPM. It was a fucking buzzsaw. High revving. It had a 617 gear, 7,500 stall. Big ass fucking slicks. It was an old school drag car. With these 302s, you put them in some light shit and get the gear and the converter and get it all hooked up. They'll fucking scream. You don't want to put this in a 5,500 pound truck, because down low there ain't not much torque. But you can make a shitload of high RPM horsepower with them. So you need the gear and the converter to multiply your torque. Make it fucking work. That's a pretty rare crankshaft. It's all carved out and you got a big forging line that's normally there. It's all been smoothed down and profiled and shit. Deburred. It's had some pounds taken off of it. I'm gonna put this shit in a 327 small journal block, 30 over, so it'll be about a 307 cubic inch, 306, but it's gonna make 2 horsepower per cubic inch, probably 400 pounds of torque maybe. But the horsepower will be, you gotta set it up for the horsepower. Because there's no such a thing as low end torque with this kind of shit. You gotta match the components. That thing's straight out of the 1970s. That's a pretty rare artifact. There it is, 302 Chevy crankshaft.